इसका अपार, तीखा कम है फिर भी स्वाद, बेमिसाल बेमिसाल MDH कश्मीरी,
MDH कश्मीरी।
MDH।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. We must not live in denial. We must not fool ourselves. Terrorism has no religion. Victims of terrorism have no religion. Perpetrators of terrorism have no religion. We live in a religion-agnostic world when it comes to terrorism. These arguments are made by people to stop accepting the reality. The reality is that there was religious segregation in Pahalgam, that Hindu men were asked to recite the Islamic kalma, that their pants were pulled down to see whether they have been circumcised or not. And they were asked to recite the kalma to check whether they were Hindu or Muslim. And those who could not recite the Islamic kalma were killed. I am not saying this. I will play 3 sound bites. And I want all the people living in denial tonight, all the people, these pseudo-secular frauds, to listen to this as well. First, the comment of the Dwivedi family. Kanpur resident Shubham Dwivedi, 28, and his wife were among the tourists present. They were asked if they were Muslim and demanded to recite the kalma. First, proof, Dwivedi family from Kanpur.
बैठ के मैगी खाने जा रहे थे, शाम भी मेरी बहन थोड़ा दूर बैठी थी और पापा मेरे वॉशरूम में थे। उतनी देर में एक बंदा पीछे से आया और उसने गोली साइड में रख के उससे पूछा हिंदू है कि मुसलमान है। मुसलमान है तो पहले कलमा पढ़ के दिखा। जैसे हमें पता ही नहीं, हम पीछे पलट के देखे हो क्या रहा है, हम उसकी तरफ स्माइल करके पूछे भैया क्या हुआ, कह रहे हिंदू है मुसलमान। मैंने कहा हिंदू, मार दिया। पहली गन उसी पे चलाई, उसके बाद 70 लोगों को मार दिया। क्यों मार दिया?
And you know what? There are still people who will say, Arnab, don't talk about these issues, bury them. Don't talk about it. It will affect the climate in our country. So what should I do? Bury them, edit them, not let people know the truth that Hindus were pulled out, told to recite the Islamic kalma, and when they couldn't, or when they proudly identified themselves as Hindu, they were killed on the spot. 3 bullets each, in the head, here, and then in the back. 3 bullets each. Their faces smashed because they were Hindu. Proof number 2, I think this is of Sushil Natalian. Ladies and gentlemen, am I right? Sushil Natalian, I want you to hear. 50-year-old Life Insurance Corporation of India branch manager Sushil Natalian wanted to be in Kashmir to experience the heaven on earth. This is what, he was Christian, this is what his wife said. Play.
उन्होंने यही बोला कि मेरे मिस्टर के पास बंदूक लगा के बोला कलमा पढ़ो। मेरे मिस्टर ने बोला मैं तो क्रिश्चियन, मैं ईसाई हूँ, मेरे को कलमा जो भी है वो नहीं पढ़ना आता। और बस इतना बोला मेरे पति ने, उनको ऐसे धक्का दिया और बंदूक मार दी बिल्कुल सीधे पे। मेरे पति ने वही उन्होंने यही बोला कि मेरे मिस्टर के पास बंदूक लगा के बोला कलमा पढ़ो।
Kalma padho. Ladies and gentlemen, now you know these pseudo-secular channels, pseudo-secular journalists will not talk about it. There will be no videos on this made by the Ravish Kumars and all these people. Also the lobby of Indian journalists who keep going there to have coffee with Nawaz Sharif And there is one particular lady journalist who is the favorite of Hafiz Saeed. She should quit this profession forever because Hafiz Saeed has said that she's a great journalist. They will not ask these questions that I, Arnab Goswami or Republic ask. They are not nationalist people. When Hindus are the victims, when Christians are the victims, then they will not say these things. I want to give you a third example of the wife of Biton Adhikari. Biton Adhikari, 40-year-old engineer employed with the Tata Consultancy Services in the US, was among 26 killed. These are official figures of 26. I don't even know whether I can believe it. And this is what his wife Sohini said. She said that the terrorists asked her and her husband whether they were Muslims, and they were told to immediately defend their lives by reciting the kalma. Please hear her narration of events.
আপনি বলুন, আপনি ছিলেন, আপনি বলুন, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, বলুন, কাল রাতে আমাকে বলেছেন, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, বলুন, বলুন আপনি।
মুসলিম, আপনি কি কালমা পড়তে জানেন? না জানি না।
বলুন, এদের বলুন, সেকুলার নেতাদের বলুন।
বাচ্চাটাকে মেরে দিল।
ও দায়িত্ব আমার, ও দায়িত্ব আমার।
You hear her there, ladies and gentlemen, where she says that my husband was told to recite the kalma. How long will we remain pseudo-secular, ladies and gentlemen? And all the people so proud that we have the word secular in our constitution are the people who have finger on their lips today. Because here is an example. I have given you 3 out of many instances. I have given you proof that this is not a case where you can go around strutting, saying that terrorism has no religion, neither the perpetrators or the victims have no religion. Sonia Gandhi will not talk about this. Rahul Gandhi will not talk about this because their Muslim vote bank will be upset. They think. All they want is the Muslim vote bank. Even if I give them proof like this, that Hindus are being targeted and killed for being Hindus, for not reciting the kalma, the pseudo-secular lobby will be totally quiet and say, Arnab, don't talk about these things. I'm asking you tonight, should I bury all this? Am I a journalist if I bury all this? How long will you let a bunch of fake, fraud, pseudo-secular YouTubers mislead you about the reality of this country? There is radicalization. And there are people who, even at a time like this, when the nation is under attack, are saying, come, let's hit the streets. Let's tell the Muslims to hit the streets about a property dispute called the Waqf. Let's use this. Rahul Gandhi feels this is a great moment. Let's use this moment on Waqf to provoke Muslims, make them hit the streets. That is what will help Pakistan. And I accuse the Congress party of forever being Pakistan's partner at times like this. Yesterday I put out a video that for God's sake, Owaisi, Rahul, All India Muslim Personal Law Board, spare us your politics at this time. See the pictures from Pahalgam. Realize what is happening. Stop provoking Muslims and telling them, let's show our power, let's hit the streets. Why, Rahul Gandhi? All the American money couldn't get you 10 votes, so you now want to create a big Muslim vote bank and emerge as the Muslim leader of this country. And these people want peace. They still want peace, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Congress party saying in its press conference today that despite all of this, we must maintain peace. In other words, the Congress, which is pretending to support the government, is actually still playing that stupid, malevolent, corrupt, Aman ki Asha card. I'll play a clip.
बावजूद हम इस गंभीर उकसावे के बावजूद शांति बनाए रखने की अपील करते हैं और संकट की इस घड़ी में हमारी सामूहिक शक्ति को दोहराते हैं। हम इस गंभीर उकसावे के बावजूद शांति बनाए रखने की अपील करते हैं और संकट की इस घड़ी में हमारी सामूहिक शक्ति को दोहराते हैं।
Now viewers, look at his words, संकट की घड़ी। संकट तो पाकिस्तान की होने वाली है, पवन खेड़ा। It's Pakistan which is going to be in sankat, so don't try and weaken our resolve. And who are you when the Prime Minister is speaking and issuing a stern warning to the Pakistanis? Why are you appealing for peace? Who do you want peace with? Asif Munir? Shehbaz Sharif? With the Lashkar-e-Toiba? With all your separatist friends? With the people who Mani Shankar Iyer appealed with and said, let's join hands and defeat Modi next time? This party, ladies and gentlemen, cannot be trusted. And one more thing, I want this Bollywood brigade to stop giving gratuitous advice about forbearance. There is a Bollywood superstar is talking about forbearance. What does that Bollywood fellow know? Owaisi wants to create a facade of sympathizing with victims. Omar, how dare you try and give this sort of wishy-washy statement today saying there's a lot of Kashmiriyat, Kashmiriyat, Kashmiriyat. Where was this Kashmiriyat? When on 19th August 2024, you pledged in your manifesto to encourage dialogue between India and Pakistan. Where was your Kashmiriyat then, Omar? Don't use the word Kashmiriyat as a mask over your real intentions, your and your father, your real intentions. These people call, and Omar Abdullah said, these are our guests. It's heartbreaking to see the exodus of our guests from the valley. Your guests. Your guests. Kashmir is ours, Omar. You don't own it. They were not guests. They were in their own country. Look at the use of language by Omar Abdullah. It reveals his intentions. This is the same man who in December 2016 was telling the separatist pro-Pakistan Hurriyat, don't break up. He wanted a unity among the pro-Pakistan elements led by Yasin Malik and Syed Ali Shah Jilani, who said, I'm not an Indian by birth. It is a compulsion. We have to travel with an Indian passport. And Omar Abdullah was doing politics with him. Ladies and gentlemen, believe me, I know these people inside out. And they know that I know them. They know that I know them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is fake sympathy. We will never believe. Mehbooba Mufti carrying a placard yesterday was a joke. She carries a placard saying, this is an attack on all of us. She's a liar. She's double-faced. Ladies and gentlemen, she's double-faced. This is the same Mehbooba Mufti who was begging for a chance for Burhan Wani. This is the same Mehbooba Mufti, and she doesn't have the guts to face me. She's a coward as well. She says this is an attack on all of us. No, it's not an attack on all of us. Accept, Mehbooba Mufti, this was an attack in which Hindus were segregated and Hindus were killed. So stop your fake candlelight protests. You're the same people who was against the hanging of Afzal Guru. You're an Afzal Guru fan. You're a nepotistic person and an Afzal Guru fan. You're the one who cries for separatists. And you must realize that the kalma-test that happened in Pahalgam was absolutely real. It happened. The Narwal family, Professor Bhattacharya, professor of Assam, a Hindu Brahmin, he said he recited the kalma instinctively, and that's how his life got saved. But that was not the case for the Dwivedi family of Kanpur, the Narwal family who got married 9 days back, for Santosh Jagdale, 54-year-old, he was told to come out, and then he was shot thrice, once in the head because he could not recite the kalma, once behind the ear because he could not recite the kalma, and once in the back because he could not recite the kalma. And ladies and gentlemen, no more cricket. I want to tell these sports channels that want to make so much money and think that we won't understand about how much money they make by doing a match with Pakistan and broadcasting it and having it done in Dubai. Stop it, for God's sake. Stop your bloody cricket with Pakistan. Stop those bloody movies with Pakistani stars. Why is Salman Khan so willing to work with Pakistani stars again? He says, take the permission from here. I'm ready to work with them, even joking, or else I'll play cricket. Well, Salman Khan, just shut up like you should have done in the past. This is the same Salman Khan who in 2016 spoke about Pakistani artists and said they are artists, not terrorists, when Pakistan wants to bleed us with terror. Some in Bollywood still want to do movies with them. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to come to terms with what has happened. The government will act, but we need unity within. And the greatest service leaders of the Muslim community can do is by having nationwide protests against the targeted killing of Hindus, whether in Pahalgam or in Murshidabad. Har Gobindo Das was killed because he was a Hindu in Murshidabad. Chandan Das, his 40-year-old son, was killed because they are Hindu in Murshidabad. But when Republic says these things, we are told, don't say it, because you've got to be pseudo-secular. The media in this country has been a pseudo-secular media. That media has no right to broadcast to this country anymore. You can't be a journalist if you're not a nationalist. Ladies and gentlemen, the only test that will be allowed in this country, or should be allowed or made mandatory, is not the kalma-test. It should be the test of nationalism. Let's debate.
इतना पूछा मुस्लिम, किसी ने बोला हाँ तो कलमा पढ़ के बताओ।
बोले जैसा फिलिस्तीनी बन जाएगा, यहाँ तो सब कलमा कलमा ही चलेगा। मुस्लिम अपने भी कलमा पढ़ते जाने। मुसलमान है कि पहले कलमा पढ़ के दे। अरे हिंदू है मुसलमान, मैंने तो हिंदू पढ़ दिया।
मौत की कसम है। गुंडे गुंडे मेरी गुंडे।
This was the kalma test of the terrorists, a massacre targeting Hindus. Staring into the eyes of death, the Pakistani cowards asked Shubham Dwivedi, "Do you know how to read kalma?" And then they shot him at point blank range.
पापा मेरे वॉशरूम में थे। उतनी देर में एक बंदा पीछे से आया और उसने गोली साइड में रख के उससे पूछा, हिंदू है कि मुसलमान? मुसलमान है तो पहले कलमा पढ़ के दिखा। जैसे हमें पता ही नहीं, हम पीछे पलट के देखे हो क्या रहा है, हम उसकी तरफ स्माइल करके पूछे, भैया क्या हुआ? कह रहे हिंदू है मुसलमान। मैंने कहा हिंदू, मार दिया। पहली गन उसी पे चलाई, उसके बाद 70 लोगों को मार दिया।
They did not stop at that. They identified and separated the tourist, and then began the indiscriminate firing, killing innocent civilians, Hamas style.
यहाँ पर थी, क्या बोलते, भेलपुरी खाली थी, मेरा पति साइड में था, एक इंसान है, उसने उसको गोली मार दी। यहाँ पे उसने बोला कि शायद मुस्लिम नहीं है, उसने उसको गोली मार दी।
नहीं, आप टेंशन मत लो, अब बेटा आप यहाँ पे रहो, हम साथ में। मैडम, ये जो वहीद साहब है प्रेसिडेंट, आप टेंशन मत लो,
मेरे पति का बच्चा लो,
हम बचा देगा, कोई बात नहीं।
This is the testimony of Jennifer, whose husband was shot in the chest because he could not read kalma. They pointed a gun at my husband and told him to recite the kalma. He said he was a Christian and did not know how to recite the kalma. That's all that Sushil said to the terrorists.
हमने यही बोला कि मेरे मिस्टर के पास बंदूक लगा के बोले कलमा पढ़ो। मेरे मिस्टर ने बोला मैं तो क्रिश्चियन हूँ, मैं ईसाई हूँ, मेरे को कलमा जो भी है वो नहीं पढ़ना आता। तो बस इतना बोला मेरे पति ने, उनको ऐसे धक्का दिया और बंदूक मार दी बिल्कुल सीने पे। मेरे पति ने वही।
Sushil's son, who is also an eyewitness, said that the terrorists asked them to strip. They first took selfies and then checked if the tourists were circumcised.
वो सब किसी से पूछ रहे थे कि मुस्लिम अगर आप मुस्लिम नहीं हो, गोली मार रहे सीधे। मेरे सामने उन्होंने 6 लोगों को गोली मारी। उनसे सिर्फ इतना पूछा मुस्लिम, किसी ने बोला हाँ तो कलमा पढ़ के बताओ। और अगर कलमा भी पढ़ दी, उसके बाद उसने बोला कि अपने नीचे के कपड़े खोल के बताओ। और उनने बोला कि खातून नहीं है तुम्हारा, तो सीधे गोली मार दी।
A professor in Assam University, Debashish Bhattacharya, was one of the few lucky people who wasn't butchered by the cowards, only because he could recite the kalma. Bitan Adhikari, a 40-year-old engineer, the sole breadwinner for his elderly parents, was among the 26 killed in the April 22 terror attack. He was killed because he couldn't recite the kalma. Bitan was shot dead on the spot in front of his wife and child, who survived.
হিন্দু বলে আপনি বলুন, আপনি ছিলেন, আপনি বলুন, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, বলুন, কাল রাতে আমাকে বলেছেন, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, বলুন, বলুন আপনি।
মুসলিম আপনি কি কালমা পড়তে জানেন?
হ্যাঁ,
না জানি না।
বলুন, এদের বলুন, সেকুলার নেতাদের বলুন। ও দায়িত্ব আমার, ও দায়িত্ব আমার।
But the terror apologists refused to accept the kalma-test of the terrorists.
इसके बारे में अभी पक्की खबर नहीं है, अलग अलग खबरें आ रही है। ऐसा जो काफ़ी जो 2-3 वीडियो जो आए उन्होंने ये बताया कि गोली दागने के पहले ऐसा किसने पूछा नहीं था कि आप हिंदू हो या मुस्लिम हो। ऐसे भी कुछ बातें सामने आई है। अभी धीरे धीरे पूरी जब छानबीन होंगी तब ये बातें सच्ची बात क्या है वो सब सामने आएंगी। अभी इंक्वायरी चालू है फिलहाल।
Looking at identities and then killing somebody, that's a message. Also sending a message to the Prime Minister of our country. Why? Because Muslims are feeling weakened. The minorities are feeling weakened.
Chief Minister Omar Abdullah and PDP Chief Mehbooba Mufti refused to accept that the innocent civilians were targeted because of their religion. Omar's minister, who called tourists cultural invaders, says that Muslims are being targeted.
इस वाक़े के नतीजे में रियासत से बाहर जो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं जिनको डराया जा रहा है, जिनको कम्युनल फोर्सेस के ज़रिए टारगेट बनाया जा रहा है, उनकी सेफ्टी एंड सिक्योरिटी के लिए बात हुई।
Rahul Gandhi and AIMPLB are quiet. But the Prime Minister has assured India will hunt down the mastermind of the Pahalgam terror attack.
Today, from the soil of Bihar, I say to the whole world, India will identify, track and punish every terrorist and their backers. We will pursue them to the ends of the earth. India's spirit will never be broken by terrorism. Terrorism will not go unpunished. Every effort will be made to ensure that justice is done. The entire nation is firm in this resolve.
26 lives lost and Bharat's soul targeted. India will not forget nor forgive the terrorists and the terror backers.
I welcome everyone. Asif Sohail from Hyderabad usually backs Owaisi. Asif, not one statement from Owaisi or Muslim leaders on how Hindus were targeted and told to take off their pants to check whether the Hindu men have been circumcised. And then they were told to recite the kalma. And if you could not recite the kalma, you were killed. Right? The Muslim leadership of this country, Muslim community leaders like you, political leaders like Owaisi don't want to talk about the kalma-test. Have you noticed, Madhuvanti, ये kalma-test के बारे में नहीं बोलना चाहते. ये कलमा करके जो हिंदुओं को टारगेट किया गया, जैसे मुर्शिदाबाद में हिंदुओं को मारा गया, they don't want to talk about that. अब मैं पूछ लूँ, in this whole world, name one Muslim majority country which is a secular country, they get very angry. Because their answer is there is no Muslim country, majority country which is a secular country, which has equal rights. Not one Muslim country. But ये तो हमारे भारत के लोगों के साथ हो रहा है. क्यों आसिफ सोहेल? दही जम गई. He will not say a word tonight. On the targeting, Christians have also been told कि read kalma if you want to survive. Mentality, no, jihadi mentality. But you don't want to speak about jihadi mentality. You don't want to speak about Islamist terrorism. You will say, oh, we are feeling very bad, but terrorism has no religion, you know. If terrorism has no religion, then why were these people told to read the kalma?
आपका हो गया तो मैं जवाब दूंगा अर्नब इसका।
हुआ नहीं है और बहुत पूछ सकता हूँ। प्रॉब्लम लग रही है क्या? सच बोल रहा हूँ तो यू आर गेटिंग हर्ट।
बोलिए। अरे सर,
कलमा टेस्ट हुआ कि नहीं हुआ?
आपका चैनल
पहलगाम में वाज देयर अ कलमा टेस्ट और नॉट?
नहीं, हमारे से जब सवाल करें तो
वाज देयर अ कलमा टेस्ट और नॉट?
मैं जवाब तो लीजिए आप।
तो जवाब तो मैं कलमा टेस्ट पे पूछ रहा हूँ ना। आई एम आस्किंग यू ऑन कलमा टेस्ट, यू आंसर ऑन कलमा टेस्ट।
दूंगा ना सर। आप ही तो बोलते जा रहे हैं ना। आप ही कलमा पढ़ रहे हैं, आप ही जवाब दे।
मैं कलमा नहीं पढ़ रहा हूँ और मैं कलमा नहीं पढ़ूंगा। मैं हिंदू हूँ। वॉच योर लैंग्वेज। मैं कलमा नहीं पढ़ूंगा, मैं हिंदू हूँ। मैं क्यों कलमा पढ़ूं? मैं क्यों? आप क्यों बोल रहे हैं मैं कलमा पढ़ रहा हूँ? मैं कलमा नहीं पढ़ रहा। आप क्यों बोल रहे हैं मैं कलमा पढ़ रहा हूँ? Why are you telling a Hindu that you are reading कलमा? Why are you telling a Hindu like this? आप एक हिंदू के साथ ऐसी बात क्यों कर रहे हैं?
तो मैं
बोलूं आपको उल्टा? मैं बोलूं उल्टा आपको? आप बोल रहे हैं मैं कलमा पढ़ रहा हूं, मैं नहीं कलमा पढ़ूंगा। Please don't talk to me like this. Please don't use this language with me. No, but you can't say why are you reading kalma? I am not reading kalma.
Arnab, then you don't talk to me in that language too.
I am speaking very politely and asking you about the kalma test.
आपको हक नहीं है बोलने का हमें, समझे आप? तो मेरी बात तो खत्म करिए। इस भारत के जितने मुसलमान हैं, ये टेररिज्म के ऊपर, ये हमले के ऊपर हम मजम्मत करते हैं, कंडेम करते हैं और हम इसके लिए लड़ने के लिए तैयार है, हमारे मुल्क के लिए, हमारे भारत के लिए। आपको बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है। देखिए, दहशतगर्दी का ना कलमे से कोई ताल्लुक है, ना कुरान से कोई ताल्लुक है, ना दहशतगर्दी का कोई जगह है। अगर आप बोल रहे हैं, देखिए, दूसरे धर्म को नाम लेकर अगर किसी को मारा जाता है तो क्या धर्म के ऊपर आप आवाज उठाएंगे? आज हमें सबको एक जगह होकर इस जुल्म के खिलाफ, इस दहशतगर्दी के खिलाफ लड़ना चाहिए हमें, समझे आप? यहाँ पे आप सवाल उठाइए कि सिक्योरिटी फेलियर क्यों हुआ, उसके ऊपर बोलिए। आप एक ही जो सो कलमा टेस्ट क्या है? कलमा टेस्ट सर, देखिए, जो कलमा पढ़ता है
one minute. Thank you very much for your initial comment. मैं realist हूँ, I'm an absolute realist. The fact is, I want to go to Sanju. I'm very considerate in my use of language. I'm very fair. I am telling you, Sanju, that today the big controversy is that Sharad Pawar is not accepting the fact there was a kalma test. Congress is not talking about the fact there was a kalma test. All India Majlis-e-Ittihadul Muslimin, All India Muslim Personal Law Board को आज सड़कों में आके कहना चाहिए कलमा टेस्ट क्यों हुई, ये जिहादी सोच निकालो, ये गज़वाए हिंद जिहादी सोच, भारत विरोधी सोच, इसको बंद करो। इस पर बात नहीं करेंगे, मगर जब हजारों करोड़ की प्रॉपर्टी वक्फ डिस्प्यूट पे आती है तो कहते हैं सड़कों पे चले जाओ, इंडिया इज अंडर अटैक, बट वी विल बर्न द स्ट्रीट्स ऑफ दिस कंट्री एंड इट विल नॉट वर्क एनीमोर। संजू वर्मा इज ऑन द डिबेट। संजू,
थैंक यू। Arnab, first and foremost, I think you gave an excellent introduction and you addressed the elephant in the room. You know, I have been on a couple of debates on this horrifying Pahalgam terror attack and I am appalled. You need to ask questions of the government. By all means, you have every right to do that. You want accountability? Of course. As bona fide Indians, we all want that. But I am surprised and dismayed. But I am at the same time, you know, quite amused by the hypocrisy of this entire left-leaning pseudo-secular cabal. Not once have they named and shamed radical Islamist terror for what it is. Hargobind Das was killed because he was a Hindu. Chandan Das was killed because he was a Hindu. Ankit Saxena during Shaheen Bagh was killed because he was a Hindu. Prashant and Praveen Pujari, poor flower sellers in Karnataka, were killed because they were Hindu. Ram Gopal Mishra was killed in Uttar Pradesh because he's a Hindu. Sachin Gopalan was killed in Kerala because he's a Hindu. Vinay Narwal now in Pahalgam was killed because he's a Hindu. Bittar Adhikari was killed because he's a Hindu. Prashant Sattapathy, he was killed because he's a Hindu. Manish Ranjan, he was killed because he was a Hindu. I can go on and on and on, but Arnab, I think you have nailed the elephant in the room. Look at the rampant hypocrisy of somebody like a Robert Vadra. He makes a shamelessly brazen statement saying, ये इसलिए हुआ as in Pahalgam terror attack इसलिए हुआ because Muslims feel insecure. The word he used was insecure. Then he does not stop there. He says because Muslims feel weakened. I mean, are you telling me that if you feel
Robert Vadra and the Congress party, by saying so, have justified this attack? Robert Vadra has created a justification for the Pahalgam attack. The man should be put in jail. There should be a case against him under UAPA and NIA. Your government is too soft on him. He should have been jailed by now. He's providing a political and ideological justification for the killing of Hindus in Pahalgam by saying the problem is with Hindutva because Muslims are feeling weakened, and that is why this attack has happened, and that is why Hindus have been targeted. The man is not mad, he's dangerous, and I'm sure Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra and Rahul Gandhi have made him say this on behalf of the Congress party.
Also, you have to admit one thing. You know, we all know that military strategies are not going to be discussed on primetime television debates. The government will do what it needs to do. Let us not forget, thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's conviction and willpower, we had the surgical strike in 2016. We avenged the Uri attack. We had the Balakot strike in 2019 to avenge the Pulwama horror. But I have to say this for the record. There is a completely irresponsible opposition that we have. They have been making reckless allegations for the longest time that Balakot to orchestrated tha. पुलवामा तो ऑर्केस्ट्रेटेड था, पठानकोट टेरर अटैक तो ऑर्केस्ट्रेटेड था, कुपवाड़ा और बारामुल्ला में जो टेरर अटैक्स होते हैं वो तो ऑर्केस्ट्रेटेड है, रजौरी और पूंछ में जो टेरर अटैक्स होते हैं वो तो ऑर्केस्ट्रेटेड है. When you have this kind of a brazenly reckless and irresponsible opposition, can you imagine what the government is grappling with? It is grappling with the 2.5 front war. And in this, the 0.5, ये अपने खुद के भेदी हैं. घर का भेदी लंका ढाए, और यहाँ पर के भेदी हैं the likes of a Pawan Khera, the likes of a Robert Vadra, the likes of a Jawahar Sirkar, the ex-Rajya Sabha TMC MP. 10 seconds, Arnab, you have to read his tweet. He's written, those killed at Pahalgam were not Hindus or Muslims, but Indians. They were killed by wild beasts who deserve to be shot like them. Look how these people are whitewashing, rationalizing and normalizing radical Islamist terror. They are saying जिन्होंने कत्ल किया वो तो सिर्फ जानवर थे. क्यों भाई? रैबिड इस्लामिस्ट टेरर का नाम लेने में डर क्यों लगता है? लोगों को कलमा पढ़ने के लिए बोला गया, जब उन्होंने मना कर दिया, पूछा गया हिंदू हो क्या, जब उन्होंने हाँ कहा तो गोली से उनका कत्ल कर दिया जाता है. और ऑपोजिशन यहाँ बोलती है नहीं भाई, मोदी सरकार ने मुसलमानों को वीक कर दिया है ना, इसलिए पहलगाम में मैसेकर हुआ. एंड व्हेन आई क्वेश्चन अ कपल ऑफ कांग्रेसीज ऑन डिबेट्स दैट आई हैव बीन टू, वेरी ब्रेजनली एंड shamelessly they say, oh, you know, Robert Vadra is a private citizen. भाई Robert Vadra is a private citizen, तो बीकानेर गुरुग्राम लैंड ग्रैबिंग केस में why are all Congress darbaris and acolytes there on primetime TV?
No, I
private citizen?
No, this is a, you see, first of all, Tariq Lari and Priyanka Kakkar, I agree with Sanju Verma completely. Political parties cannot run away now. You can't say that you don't know that telling Muslims to go to the streets, create violence will not help Pakistan. Straight question. You were telling Muslims to go on the streets and create violence, and you were all saying, because you have lost an election, there's no hope that you will come into power in the center or in the state. So you're frustrated. So you want to create communal violence. You want Muslims to go to the streets. And you don't care if it will help Pakistan. In fact, if it helps Pakistan, you will be happy because the government will be handling a battle with Pakistan and an internal battle with you people. Tariq, you should not provoke the Muslims. You should not tell them to become violent, hit the streets. है ना? You should understand what the country is facing. Secondly, you should say, ये मत करिए, मैं ये लोग जाहिल है, मैं इनको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करता, ये टेररिस्ट. मुझे पता है आप क्या बोलने वाले हो तारिक. मूल मुद्दे को एक्सेप्ट कीजिए कि आप सिचुएशन क्रिएट के लिए कर रहे हैं राष्ट्र के लिए, जहाँ पे एक तरफ से पाकिस्तान की अटैक हो और एक तरफ से आप लोग मुस्लिमों को उकसा के कहो कि अच्छा ठीक है पाकिस्तान से अटैक हो रहा है, आप भी सड़कों पे आ जाओ. पूरी प्रॉब्लम करते हैं मोदी के लिए क्योंकि हम इलेक्शन हार चुके हैं, प्रॉब्लम करते हैं मोदी के लिए, सड़कों पे आ जाते हैं, पुलिस को अटैक करते हैं। अभी तो मोदी जी उनको हैंडल करना है ना पाकिस्तान, हम भी और प्रॉब्लम करवाते हैं। लेट्स क्रिएट इंटरनल ट्रबल। और अगर मैं पूछूं तो आप कहेंगे ये सब मत, नहीं, ये मुझे सब पता है इनकी पॉलिटिक्स, आई नो देम वेरी वेल, दे नो आई नो देम। सो तारिक, I want your position on it, no point denying it. Our enemy is Pakistan, but you are trying to create internal problems also right now. और आपको टाइमिंग पूरी तरह से पता है, और आपने अपना पोजीशन बदला नहीं है। पहलगाम अटैक के बाद आपने सॉरी नहीं बोला है, आपने प्रॉमिस नहीं की है। I want to tell you मधुवंती, they have not said कि अभी हम ये सड़कों में जाके हिंसा बंद कराएंगे, ये अभी भी उन्होंने कमिटमेंट नहीं दी है
और नहीं देंगे और नहीं देंगे और एक बार भी नहीं पूछेंगे कि हिंदुओं का हत्या हो गया है। to say it out on national
अरे
television।
यहाँ पे वक्फ बोर्ड पे बात हो रही है कि पहलगाम पे बात हो रही है? ये बेवकूफी वाली today is the impeached roguish cheeky pukish debate you are doing, Arnab।
हुआ है बोल दीजिए, आप
This is a pukish debate. Your talk is a pukish।
What?
You are doing a pukish debate today, Arnab।
Are you drunk?
You are a gentleman. You should not do like this।
Doing that kind of a debate।
No, this is a cheeky debate today।
Stay it out aloud if you have the
debate, you know that?
I'm not doing a cheeky debate. I am pointing out 1 minute, Madhuvanti,
You are mixing 2 points। You are mixing 2 points।
There are not 2 points. I am saying the country is facing attack. The country is facing attack.
Talk about Pulwama।
I am saying there's no Pulwama here. Pahalgam.
No,
Get your facts
talk
right.
about Pulwama or talk about Waqf Board?
I am saying at a time when the nation is under attack, you are saying that we should hit the streets and have violence on the streets.
मुझे बोलने दीजिए, मैं बहुत गुस्से में हूँ, मुझे बोलने दीजिए।
आप अगर एक
पहले बोलने दीजिए, एक बार 1 मिनट का समय दीजिए, सिर्फ 1 मिनट का समय दीजिए मुझे,
बोल दीजिए,
सिर्फ 1 मिनट का समय दीजिए बड़े भाई, सिर्फ 1 मिनट का समय दीजिए,
बोल दीजिए।
अरे 1 मिनट रुकिए मैडम, मुझे सिर्फ 1 मिनट का समय दीजिए।
मैं 1 मिनट, कैन आई बी ऑन द लेफ्ट प्लीज, कैन आई बी ऑन द लेफ्ट 1 मिनट। आई एम जस्ट सेइंग आपको 1 मिनट का समय मैं बिल्कुल दूंगा।
27,000 सिविलियंस को मार चुका होता।
आपने बोला कि नहीं कि सड़कों पे उतर जाओ, आपने बोला परसों कि मुस्लिम समाज को सड़कों पे उतर जाना चाहिए, आपने बोला कि नहीं बोला? आपने कहा कि नहीं कहा कि मुसलमानों को सड़कों पे आ जाना चाहिए? आपने कहा कि नहीं कि मुसलमानों को सड़कों पे आ जाना चाहिए? आपको जवाब देना होगा। You will have to answer my question. Did you say to the Muslims that hit the streets? Hit the streets. Did you say? Did you say that? Did you say that? Then आपने हमास को सपोर्ट किया, आपने हमास को सपोर्ट किया। आपके लीडर्स जय फिलिस्तीन कहते हैं और हमास की हाथ है इसमें।
इसलिए बेवकूफी वाली
सुशील, बेवकूफी बात नहीं कर रहा, मैं डायरेक्ट लिंक बना रहा हूं। हमास के लोग पाकिस्तान में थे, उन्होंने अंजाम दिया है। The Hamas hand is there behind it. Are you a Hamas supporter? कहिए हमास मुर्दाबाद, बोलिए हमास मुर्दाबाद, सेम हमास मुर्दाबाद, बोलिए हमास मुर्दाबाद, हमास मुर्दाबाद बोलिए।
संजय सोडी की भी बात करिए,
आप बोलिए हमास मुर्दाबाद।
बात करिए।
I am saying the Hamas is linked. I am saying the Hamas is linked to this. I am saying the Hamas is linked to this. आपको तकलीफ हो रही है। This is a Hamas style operation that has happened on our soil, and you are still saying that let us go to the streets and create violence at a time like this. आप हिंसा चाहते हैं? सेना वहां पे सरहद पर, आप हिंसा चाहते हैं
कि कलमा पढ़ के क्यों मारा, कलमा के बारे में पूछ कर क्यों मारा,
हाँ कहा कह रहा हूं,
उतार के क्यों मारा? आप मोदी से पूछिए कि सुरक्षा कहां।
मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं क्योंकि आप हमास सपोर्टर है, मैं पूछ रहा हूं ये कलमा पढ़ के क्यों मारा?
सरकार की बजाय हमसे
कलमा पढ़ के पढ़ने को क्यों कहा
कि सुरक्षा?
ये जिहादी सोच को आप सपोर्ट करते हैं?
छोड़िए, you are
a double-faced politician. You don't have the courage to say that I'm sorry or not. मैं माफी मांगता हूं कि मैंने मुस्लिम समाज को बोला कि सड़कों पे जाओ और हिंसा करो। मैं माफी मांगता हूं देश से। ये भड़कीले बयान में बंद करूंगा। देश को एकजुट होना होगा, आप मानिए उसको।
बदमाशी वाली डिबेट कर रहे हैं आप, देश को एकजुट।
बदमाशी सोच आपकी है,
नहीं कर रहे, देश को तोड़ने की बात कर रहे हैं।
सच्चाई दिखा रहा हूं मैं आपको। आईना दिखा रहा हूं. There was religious segregation. Sushil Pandit, there was religious segregation, and that is most unfortunate. You as Muslim leaders must come together. We must unite and expose these people. Sushil Pandit is on the debate. Sushil.
Arnab, there is no doubt about it. There is absolutely no ambiguity
you politicians cannot be trusted. You politicians cannot be trusted. You are politicians. You will only do vote bank politics even when the country is under attack. You can never be trusted. You people are double-faced. You have let the country down. I will never trust you.
बताइए नहीं मीडिया के बारे में मुझे.
आपको मीडिया के बारे में क्या पता है? बैठ के पॉलिटिक्स करते हैं आप. आई एम नॉट लाइक यू.
आप बिकने तो पहले लिख रही है. आप लिखने बिकने
anyway, आप देखिए बेचने खरीदने की बात मत करिए. आपके जैसा बिकाऊ नेता नहीं हूं मैं. You are a बिकाऊ नेता. You are a बिकाऊ नेता. You have no right to speak to me like that. Sushil Pandit is on the debate. They don't like it because I'm speaking straight to them. These are the people, ladies and gentlemen, who are provoking others to hit the streets when our fellow Indians were being killed in Pahalgam. I'm showing them the mirror. They cannot accept the truth or the straightforwardness or intensity with which I'm speaking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the country is under attack. We must not allow people like the Samajwadi Party, Owaisi and Rahul Gandhi to do vote bank politics at this time. Stand with Republic, ladies and gentlemen. We expose these people together. Sushil Pandit. Sushil Pandit.
Jihad within the country. There is a thriving Pakistan within the country. And Modi ji need to sort this out first. It is this element within the country, and you called them in the beginning. You called this pseudo-secularism. Pseudo-secularism is a very respectable term. It has a semblance of ambiguity about it. That ambiguity is now completely evaporated. These are kalma politicians. They are jihad accessories. They provide rationalization and cover fire to the enemy within. And therefore, to expect them to be apologetic, to expect them to express remorse, to expect them to come with solidarity is to ask for the moon. You can't expect these minions of jihad within the politics, within the bureaucracy. Incidentally, Jawahar Sarkar, who is the TMC MP, was secretary to the government of India before he retired. And this man represents the depth to which jihadi mentality has seeped into our bureaucracy, our academia, our politics, our judiciary, our different aspects of civil service. And this is what nourishes jihad and nourishes kalma mindset across the country. What do you think caused the segregation of victims at Pahalgam? Or for that matter, in the Dhaka cafe where hostages were taken, and the only test there also to segregate ultimately the victims from survivors was kalma, was to recite some verses from Quran to escape the certain death. This is the phenomenon we saw across. Always, whenever they have time and luxury of leisure, they choose victims by this elaborate test. And when they are not convinced, they would strip down your trousers to check if you are. And this is in 21st century in independent India. In this country, after 1,000 years of servitude and suffering, if in this united country, in this day and age of nuclear power, of Rafales, of Tejas, of Pinakas, what good are these when our civilians are not safe within our own borders? So we need to sort this out, this mentality, this politics. This politics, it is represented by Tariq Lari, represented by Asaduddin Owaisi, represented by Robert Vadra, represented by Mamta Banerjee, represented by Ajay Deshmukh, Anil Deshmukh, represented by Sharad Pawar. This is an entire cabal who are united in kalma, who are united in jihad, who are united in their vote jihad.
एक कई बार गया तो उसके लिए 2000 आदमी सिक्योरिटी के लिए
And this man, when cornered, this man, Tariq Lari would say, my in-laws are Hindu. This man, कहे मेरा ससुराल हिंदू है। जब बचने की बारी आती है ना, जब मार पड़ती है,
गद्दारों हटाओ,
होती है, कहता है मेरा ससुराल
सुशील लाउडा,
मैं हिंदू त्योहार मनाता हूँ। तब कहता है ये कि मेरा ससुराल हिंदू है, मेरे रिश्तेदार हिंदू हैं। जब मार पड़ती है, जब होश ठिकाने लाए जाते हैं, तब कहता है मेरे रिश्तेदार भी हिंदू हैं, मैं हिंदू त्योहार मनाता हूँ। ऐसे दोगले हैं,
अरे पूछ,
ऐसे दोगले लोग हैं,
बिल्कुल
और इनका इलाज करना सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है। इनका इलाज करना सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है। ये है जहर हमारे समाज के बीच में, ये है हमारे समाज के बीच का जहर। ये नकाब उड़ा के आते हैं,
हर हिंदू का रिश्तेदार,
ये बुर्के में है, ये जहर है हमारे समाज।
It's time to take a line. Priyanka Kakkar of the Aam Aadmi Party has been waiting. You see, Priyanka, what is Kejriwal's position really? I want a stronger statement from a man who has national political ambitions. What's your stance?
I think his stance is very loud and clear, and he's posted it, and we've attended the meeting, all-party meeting as well today, and certain decisions were taken there. But what I want to convey through your channel, which is watched by millions of viewers in the country, is that Amit Shah ji should resign. He's failed as a home minister. He has not been able to provide any security to our citizens.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Our territory.
No, one minute. At a time like this, you want to make this completely political. And you decide. That's why I question you. What is your stance? I tell you this is the problem. This is the problem in India. You know, when there was 9/11, when there was 9/11 when 9/11 happened, the Americans did not say that the American government should resign. Why do you want to take this position?
After 45, 50 minutes.
No, please speak. Okay. Let her complete.
Let me speak after 50 minutes.
Okay, Sanju, let her complete her point. She's come after 45 minutes. That's true.
People of Delhi have shown you the
Okay, let her complete her point. I'll come to you.
I
will come to you for a response right after that. Sanju, I'll come to you for a response after her. Please.
I am saying the most stern action should be taken against Pakistan. There is no denying that. We are all together in it. Every Indian is against that, and anybody who says anything against it should be.
You can't cut it down. Audio.
One. Secondly, Amit Shah ji should.
Islamist terror. Do you have the guts to name and shame radical Islamist terror?
Secondly, do you want me to leave, Arnab? I will not be able to
Sanju, one minute, Sanju. The point is,
I can't deal with it.
I want to understand from you, Priyanka, that on the one side you say we are supporting the government, and on the other side you say the government should resign. So you have to decide. If you're supporting the government, then you support the government.
No, I'm saying Amit Shah ji should resign as a home minister.
Yeah.
He is a total failure as a home minister. He could not intercept any communication. He had hold over the communication. He could not intercept any communication between terrorists.
Your focus, of course I'm saying this, there must have been, there are lapses, but you know, I have a problem with this approach of yours, Priyanka, where at a time, we are either together or we are not. And do not tell me more about this, because then I will tell you what Shiv Shankar Menon said. When Shiv Shankar Menon and the Congress party decided we must not, when Sonia Gandhi decided we must not attack Pakistan, you are talking to a government that has carried out 2 surgical strikes. I hope you come on my program and eat your words later, Priyanka.
You know Shivraj Patil ji resigned after Mumbai terror attack. You know that, right?
Yeah. No, 1 minute. And after the Mumbai terror attack, what action did the Congress take? Since you are defending the Congress, what action did the Congress take?
You were talking about Lieutenant Vinay Narwal. I have to scream at your show. This is so...
No, Priyanka, I am asking you today with all seriousness, can you tell me or not, what action did the Congress party take after 26/11? Priyanka, 1 minute, Sanju, let me ask the questions. What action did the Congress party take after 26/11?
Did Shivraj Patil ji not resign as the Home Minister?
What action did they take?
Let me please.
Wait, 1 minute, Sanju, will you be quiet for a minute? What action did they take is my question. What action did they take? Sanju, 1 minute. Sanju, 1 minute. What action did they take? I am saying to you, Priyanka.
I have 1,000. I have 1,000.
1,000 what?
My God, you interrupt me so much and there's so much noise.
No, I'm asking you, what action did your partners in the Congress take?
At your show.
Shiv Shankar Menon said, we must do sober reflection. Did they take any action, any military action? Any major military or diplomatic or geostrategic action?
One, let me correct you here first. I do not want to be called partners with Congress. Not with what after Robert Vadra has said, not with what after they have repeatedly done with my party. I do not want to be associated or be called a partner with them. If that should be clear and on the table. Secondly, now let me please finish. Let's have a serious discussion. I heard everything that you had to speak. See, there are video clips that I saw that you also take pride in the fact that you want to show the truth and you play on your shows. But I did not see you once playing Lieutenant Narwal's sister clip who said that she was crying and howling that her brother was alive for 1.5 hours but no help reached. You did not play the video of the child who said government ko kuch pata hi nahi hai, unko pata hi nahi hai. Did you know 20th April tak पहलगाम बंद था, वो एरिया बंद था. 19th अप्रैल को प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने जाना था, 20th अप्रैल को तक वो बंद था. किसी को पता ही नहीं सरकार में कि ये खुल गया एरिया और सारे वहां पे 500 के लोग जा रहे हैं. 500 के nobody knew. That is a huge failure. Some terrorists come into my country.
Well, I will. Okay, Sanju, we can't whitewash everything. We have to be absolutely clear. There has been a failure. There has been an intel or an application failure. But I would not deny that. Let's accept there has been a lapse. Sanju, let's be clear that there has been a lapse. But that's not the point right now.
Lessons from Kejriwal. We don't need lessons from Kejriwal's Darbari on account of...
I want to play a soundbite. Despite everything you're saying, I'll play the soundbite of Biton's wife.
Today, that's not the
I want to play a soundbite now. I want to tell you one thing, Priyanka. I agree with you, but I'll tell you one thing. And I need to be allowed to say it. With all of us on the program tonight, we'll admit that the whole country is behind Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There is unshakable faith in Narendra Modi. If there is one man, the leader of the greatest country in this world, it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And you're talking about others who question lapses. Of course they do. I also want you, Priyanka, to listen to this soundbite I'll play. This is a 40-year-old Biton's wife, where she says that my husband believed in Modi. We are here for Modi. She's lost her husband, but listen to what she says. Can I play the soundbite full frame, please? Full frame.
ওদের বিচারও আমার চাই, আমি সব আপনাকে বলবো, ওদের বিচারও।
আমি কাল বিকালে আপনার বাড়িতে আসছি, কাল বিকালে
আমার এই হাজবেন্ড ছাড়া কেউ নেই, আমার একটা 3.5 বছরের বাচ্চা, ও সকালবেলা ঘুম থেকে উঠে কি বলেছে জানেন? মাম্মা ফায়ার, পাপা শেষ। ও চোখের সামনে ওর বাবাকে
হিন্দুস্তানে হিন্দুকে খুন করবে, ও গাজা শেষ হয়েছে, ইসরায়েল শেষ করেছে, আমরাও শেষ করব। মোদির শিষ্য আছি, মোদির বাচ্চা আমরা।
আমার হাজবেন্ড
নাম নিশান মিটাবো।
খুব সাপোর্ট করতেছে।
পলিটিক্স ছেড়ে দেন, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে। পলিটিক্স ছেড়ে দেন।
আমি শুধু আপনার বাসায় এসেছি।
মাল্যদান করবেন আমাদের পশ্চিমবঙ্গের মাননীয় মন্ত্রী এবং মেয়র শ্রী ফিয়াল হাকিম মহাশয়।
আপনাদেরটা খুব মানতো স্যার, খুব মানতো, মোদিজিকে খুব মানতো, আমাকে হেল্প করো, আমাকে
পুরো হেল্প করবো, পুরো হেল্প করবো।
মাল্যদান করবেন।
হিন্দু বলে আপনি বলুন, আপনি ছিলেন, আপনি বলুন হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, বলুন। কাল রাতে আমাকে বলেছেন হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, বলুন বলুন আপনি।
মুসলিম, আপনি কি কালমা পড়তে জানেন? না জানি না।
বলুন, এদের বলুন, সেকুলার নেতাদের বলুন। ও দায়িত্ব আমার, ও দায়িত্ব আমার।
Ladies and gentlemen, soundbites say it all. And at the end, I'll say, Priyanka, Tariq, and Sohail, we have different perspectives. But we believe in our Prime Minister. We forget all differences today. We condemn, I'm happy that Priyanka has come and condemned what Robert Vadra has said, because that is an absolute shame. We will come together, and believe me, we will take revenge. We will take revenge. We have absolute and unswerving faith in what the Prime Minister has said today. He meant every word today. We are with the Prime Minister, and we will not spare Pakistan. Only for tonight. Good night and goodbye. Thank you.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
आज दही बड़ा खाने का मन है। वाह क्या स्वाद!
असली स्वाद तो MDH दही बड़ा रायता मसाले से ही आता है।